Hello, my name's Katie Nairn and I am part of the South of Scotland Enterprise Pathways team, and today I'm going to talk to you about supercharging your sales through storytelling. Imagine walking into a room where every single person there is your ideal client or customer. They're curious, they're interested, they're ready to hear from you, but instead of telling them a story, you start telling them the features of your product or service, the statistics about what they do. That's how to lose a room. That's what most of us do in sales. A few months ago, we had a workshop on sales and a lady came along who had spent months building her product. Her website, her logo, her social media were all absolutely amazing. Everything looked so professional. But there was one big problem. Nobody was buying. So we asked her how she was explaining her business to other people. And this is what she said. I provide professional services designed to support individuals in improving their personal development outcomes. Sounds impressive, right? But also absolutely forgettable. We changed one thing, and instead of what she did, she told us a story about the people that she helped. Suddenly, everybody was able to understand, but most importantly, they cared, and that is the power of storytelling. Why stories work? Well, selling can feel uncomfortable, it can feel pushy, but people buy solutions and the stories help them to see how the solution works. A good story does three things. It makes the message relatable, it makes the message memorable, and it helps the customer to really imagine that transformation. Facts tell, but stories sell. We're going to go through a simple three-step story framework. You don't need to be a great writer to tell a powerful story. In fact, the best sales stories are really simple. Here's a good three-step structure that you can use. Step one, start with a character. So every story needs a hero. And in business storytelling, the hero is never you or your product or service, it's your customer. For example, Sarah had just started her small business, but every time somebody asked her what she did, she froze. Immediately, people can picture somebody like that and they can relate to the story that you're telling. Step two, show the problem. So next we need to explain where they started and what was difficult, and maybe where they lacked confidence to move forward. Maybe they were overwhelmed, maybe they had a brilliant product but they just didn't know how to sell it. This is the moment that your audience thinks, yep, that sounds like me. And step three is to show the transformation. Finally, you show how things changed, what happened once they got the right support, the right system, or the right solution. Maybe they gained confidence, maybe they signed their first client, or maybe they finally felt proud talking about their business. This is the moment that your audience thinks, I want that result too. So let me show you what that might sound like in practice. Instead of saying, I run workshops that help entrepreneurs improve their sales skills, I might say, a few months ago, I worked with a brilliant small business owner who completely hated selling. Every time somebody asked her about her business, she'd rush through the explanation and then change the subject. We worked together to help her explain her business through her client's eyes, through telling a simple story about the people that she helps and the transformations that they go through when working with her. The next networking event she went to, something different happened. Instead of nodding along and moving on politely, people leaned in and said, tell me more. And by the end of the event, she had 2 new clients. Same business, very different impact. A few quick tips will help you to make your story more powerful. First, keep it short. A great sales story is like a snapshot, a clear, concise, and impactful story. Second, make it conversational. You're not giving a speech, you're not pitching for business, you're just having a chat. And third, practice. Your tone, your body language, and your pacing all affect how your story comes across. Let's recap. Stories sell, not just services. People don't buy what you do, they buy the problem that you solve for them. Start with the person, show their struggle, and share the transformation. Keep it short, relatable, and conversational. But in closing, if you remember one thing from this video, make it this. You don't need a complicated sales pitch, you just need a story that helps people to see themselves in the problem that you solve. Start with the person, show the challenge, and share the transformation that you can offer. Because when people recognize themselves in your story, that's when they start to believe that your business can help them too.